This conference will now be recorded.
Don't ever double click.
The town board will hold a public meeting beginning at 7 PM on Monday, March 6th, 2023 at the Town Hall at 4058 County Road N. You can also join the meeting by GoToMeeting. We have a quorum present. The meeting was posted at the Town Hall and on the website. I'll call the meeting to order and we'll stand for the flag pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You have the minutes of our February 20th meeting in your pack. And the new third one.
Is that a different one?
Yeah, you did get page 2.
Oh, for crying out loud.
But it was here waiting for us, so it looks good. I'm
Yeah.
with approval.
Second.
Motion by Williams, second by Duplay to approve the February 20th, 2023 minutes as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Finance report and approval of bills.
Was that all of, we had to pay for those signs then?
That's all our bond. We approved that.
I'll move approval of checks 36,178 to 36,206 be paid and EFT payments issued of $23,562.98 and
Yep.
voided check 34,270.
Motion by Duplay. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Fonger to approve checks 36,178 through 36,206 be paid and the EFT payments of $23,562.98 and to void check 34,270. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. You'll also have your unaudited cash investment balance of $3,503,877.11. And you have the February per diems.
Full approval as presented.
Motion by Anders. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Duplay to approve the February per diems as presented. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Your loans are all due March 15th, so I'll be paying all those online, basically. So audit is still plugging away, still working with the auditors. It's going well. Other than that, computer just went nuts, but other than that, I don't have much to report from the treasurer side, I guess.
We're good then. Okay. Next item is public concerns. Public's opportunity to speak to the town board about any subject that is not a specific agenda item. And we have no one online.
Do we want to mention that we all received a letter from Waste Management, not a letter, but a card, and this is the first week of the new schedule. The trash is going to be picked up tomorrow.
Well,
And-
today. for
Today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
Easton.
There's already been a lot of calls from people that didn't see their mail, so.
No kidding. I've been noticing in my neighborhood too.
What was today or this week a recycle.
It
Yes.
is.
Yes.
And they didn't
Oh, I
pick
thought
up.
it wasn't.
Well,
They
they
did.
picked up, they were out. They picked up ours.
Ours got picked up. They haven't made it to yours yet.
And it was out at 5 o'clock Sunday night.
They got ours early this morning, so
It was about 1:30 when I went home to lunch. So I'll check on yours. Do you have any idea where, I mean, more than just your area? Or I mean,
No, I don't.
okay,
I'm curious if anybody else was
I'll check with them in the morning. and
just
see.
going by how many people had the barrels out. Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot more than just the area that was supposed to be picked up today was out. The people missed, I think,
Oh,
have a wireless road up here.
Okay. Moving on, next time, a presentation by Mark Powell, Director of Business Services of the Monona Grove School District about the upcoming referendum to exceed the levy limit.
We have a pinch hitter.
Big guy.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, I was at the village board meeting just now. I wasn't sure if I could get here on time, so Mark was gonna be here, but he certainly can answer some of the details of, well, Mark's our business manager. So I know everyone here about Dan Olson with the school district. So thank you for let me take a few moments tonight. I'm not gonna do a presentation. We have all the, charts and figures and so on our website. We also are doing 2 community presentations that are being recorded that people can view. We did one at Cottage Grove School last week, and we're doing one in Monona this week as well. But I'd like to just take a few moments and just kind of talk about the big picture about why now, why for this amount. Obviously, that's something that as elected officials is really important to you about how property taxes are impacted. And so I want to make sure that at least you have all the information, you understand that part of it behind it. So, we, as you know, have done 2 previous operating referendums most recently. The first in 2016, and then that one expired in 2020, and then another in 2020, basically to renew that. And I think you're all aware of this, but school districts have been under revenue limit since 1993. And really historically, probably until that 2008 recession, the state generally gave increases, inflationary increases to schools on per pupil basis. And so at that time, there weren't that many schools that had to go to referendum unless you're in a district with declining enrollment. And then that really made things, challenging with your budget. And so I think Monona Grove, like everyone else, made do during that time. Of course, facilities are another, issue that you have to deal with. But then when the funding really started declining in 2008 is where you saw school districts starting to look at operating referendums to exceed those revenue limits. And in Monona Grove, the first one was not really until 2016, as I mentioned. And so with the last one being in 2020, that was for 4 years. And the idea, well, let's see what happens with the state funding at that time and see where we're at. And what happened during that time, really 2 things. Number one, of course, with COVID, during that last state budget, the state froze the per pupil spending. Now, the reason they did that is because schools got a large amount of federal money. And the idea was schools have this federal money. You don't need the state money. You can get by, that way. The problem is it didn't work uniformly for all school districts. So for the federal funds are largely based upon one of the major factors is the poverty of the school district, and we're a low poverty district, and so the amount of funds we received were not as large as many other districts, and so I don't want to underestimate, they were significant, but not enough to completely balance the budget over those 2 years. And then the other problem is they're one-time funds. So now when those are done, okay, we're back to where we were 2 years ago at the funding level. And so really, that's the reason for the referendum now is to make up for that last, where we're that base where we're at 2 years, because our expenses increased over the last 2 years. We were not able to hold the line flat. As you know, some of the things are uncontrollable, things like, utilities, transportation, and that sort of things, you have your increases. But with our staffing is the biggest part. 70% of our budget is for staffing. And so with that, like everyone else right now, it's really challenging to find staffing, in particular teachers. And so Trying to be competitive with the Dane County market is one of the challenges as well, and doing the best we can to try to have fair wages for teachers. But that means having to have some sort of, increases, to try to keep up. And so, so that's kind of the big picture about the why where we're at. Some of the details about the actual, dollar amounts. And of course, there's an tax impact. So there's really two ways of looking at it. One is, what do we estimate that if the referendum passes, what would that increase be over with no referendum? And we have those figures that are all published. And it's, on the mill rate, $2.05 the first year, 52 cents the second year, and 77 the third. So that's $3.34 over those 3 years, and then it stops there. But then the other way to look at it too is, well, what is the real dollar amount for the taxpayer, right? And so one of the things that's happened over these last 3 years is our tax levy has actually decreased pretty substantially, about 17%. And so, of course, that impacts every individual taxpayer a little bit differently. For me personally, I live in the village of Cottage Grove. My school portion of the property tax has actually decreased by 17% the last 3 years. It's not the same for everyone, but that's pretty much the average. So what the tax impact does is actually takes that dollar amount back to where we pretty close to the levels we're at in 2021. And so I want to make sure I get the numbers right, so I'm not, misrepresenting here. So for example, on a $300,000 home, now this is average for the district. On a $300,000 home, the school portion of the property taxes in 2021 would have been $3,742. With this referendum, after the third year, it would be $3,643. So about $100 less than it was 3 years ago. So that's the thing and the reason that has happened is because, again, we're really just basically making up for that loss over the last couple of years. Like I said, Mark can go a lot more specific about the details of the budget. I think I'll pause there and whatever type part that you might want to talk about or have specific questions, we'll be glad to answer.
So what you were talking about there is actually your taxes went down because you started to pay off debt better than before.
Well, the debt certainly plays into it.
How much is the debt? What is the school's debt right now? This always seems to me a question that anybody should be able to answer that works for the school district, either one of you guys, It shouldn't be a question. That should be one I would think you'd know right away, I love you.
I don't know the exact number.
Yeah, I just don't understand that. And we're talking about money and raising taxes, but you don't want to know what the debt is. It slays me.
We pay about $6 million a year in debt.
$6 million a year in debt. Okay, so that's what you're paying in debt.
Right.
So what is the debt? What is the actual debt?
The total amount?
Yeah.
Well, they borrowed what, Dan, for the schools?
The last one was 57 million.
Yeah.
And then the other major part would be for the Glacial Gentleman School, which I think was 30-something.
But you get my question.
Yeah.
I always wonder why, and the gentleman before you, he didn't know what the debt was either. So I just don't understand that.
Well, I mean, I guess from my perspective, every year when the board, the budget's presented, to the board, really, I guess that's what I'm looking at, is that schedule. How much are we paying in?
I got you.
Why, I guess, using your figure of a $300,000 home, there is no such thing as a $300,000 home anymore. I mean, I would be hard pressed, I think, if I went door to door trying to find a $300,000 home, even in the older part of Monona.
Yeah.
The older part of Cottage Grove, things are well over $300,000. So, I mean, that's really kind of a misnomer, that unfortunately, not just for your school district, but any other taxing authority who wants to go ahead and say it's on in this case, a $300,000 home, it's only going to be this much. Well, when everybody's homes is almost double, I shouldn't say double that, but another 50%, that's a heck of a lot more of an increase, and.
But I would really look at our two former school board members, and I'd like to, because I'm sure when they look at this, maybe they look at it different than I do. I don't know. I'd like to know.
You're
what their
looking
feelings
at it
are.
exactly as how I was looking at it. And I even asked him at the last Chamber of Commerce meeting. I go, you're asking for an open checkbook.
is what you're asking for, correct?
So it is
Yeah.
recurring, yeah.
So
So it resets the
what's
limit.
to stop?
Yeah.
When's it gonna stop? It has to stop somewhere.
Well, I'll just offer my, we are so dependent on what the state funding is, right? And that's the
But
system we're under.
that was the same argument that Christy and I used.
Yeah.
Back, I don't even want to say how long ago it was.
Yeah.
But that was 25 plus years ago. I mean, my God, man. Budgets. We have to live by our budgets every year. I just don't understand it.
I do have one question about why are you potentially taxing, again, if you're gonna call it black and white, people 100 years from now? I mean, if you are in dire need of money, why not do another 4-year? I mean, I can't go ahead and go to referendum and tax my constituents here, for whatever we choose to do so forever. Why does the school district feel that it needs to do this forever?
Yeah.
And hopefully that people will forget about it as it gets buried as the years goes on, and my kids that are now going to soon to be school tax paying people, that's just the way it was. Well, if you don't know what it was like 20 or 25 years ago, then, they passed this referendum to tax everybody forever. And I mean, that to me, as an elected official, is unconscionable. I'm not, going to offer an opinion one way or the other about the need for the money. However, it's the perpetuity thing. To me, it strikes of laziness, and
It
I
doesn't
will be
sound
very
legal.
blunt.
Yeah.
It's lazy, just because you won't come back in 4 years and do your work, not necessarily as you, but as the school board members come back and state your case that we need more money or some more money. And
How is it legal
Yeah.
that you can do
Well,
this?
that's a great question, and I'll say that that's something the school board spent a lot of time really deliberating on whether to go recurring or non-recurring. And really with the recurring, this is just, the referendum, as you know, gives the board the authority to levy up to that amount. But it's really based on the revenue limits are all on per pupil. So the reality is the system we're under right now is under, the same thing. Every year, when the board or the state does give an increase per pupil on the revenue limit, that's your new base in perpetuity. It goes on forever, and then next year you go up again. So it really is the same as the system that we have at this point. But you're right, the board had a choice. They could have instead said, we're going to sunset it and then go back again. And those are the choices that school districts are making. I think when districts first started going to operational referendums, the norm was to have a fixed number of years. And let's see where we're at then 4 years later. You're seeing more and more districts now do the recurring to kind of reset that base. That's really the reason. It's just a reset.
Wonder if we go through with this. And the first year you do get this money, and all of a sudden the state's, well, hey guys, we're gonna give you double the amount of money. Then what do you do?
Well, the board
You're gonna spend the money.
that will be up to the school board.
No,
what they choose to levy.
But
when have they
well,
ever?
no, you're gonna spend the money.
Nobody has ever undone anything.
Yeah.
I mean, once you've got it,
Well,
it's too easy just
there
to
are a
turn
lot
up.
of school districts that don't
What's that?
levy to the maximum in those situations.
I'd like to see some. If
I-
you could name 10.
I came from one.
10 of them, name 10 of them. This is the land of the great school board. You got 426, name 10 of them. You can't. I'm sorry, it's just,
Is that a flat amount into perpetuity, or is there some kind of accelerator on it? I mean, does it
No,
go?
it's a flat amount on the per pupil. Yeah.
So when that isn't enough, then do they stack another one on it?
Well, I mean, depending on what happens in the future, that's always an option, is to, under the current system, you live with what the state gives you, or you go to referendum.
I'm just thinking of, how we already have to list all those referendums and their effect on each tax bill, and how many how deep are those gonna get stacked in perpetuity?
Yeah, good point.
well, but you even said, this is an operational.
Right.
Why not what caused you to build another school and then not have enough money to operate the school?
Well, we have enough to operate that school.
But originally you didn't though.
So, I mean, so at that time, I mean, there were two questions, right? There was the facilities piece, the 57 million. And there was a second question for this exact thing, operational, just specifically for that school. You know, hiring, you know, to take care of maintenance, hiring custodians, you know, that sort of thing. It was obviously a much smaller amount, but that was a recurring referendum because those costs will never go away to operate that school.
The 6 million per year, as you mentioned, is that normal? I mean, is that a lot of money compared to our school to others?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So our total operating budget's about 50 million. Okay, and so that's about 3 million a year over the last 2 years. So, you know, so that's about a 6% increase. In some years, you know, that we don't normally increase that amount. In this case, you know, the inflation, you know, the costs are going up more. So, you know, the teacher salary or the teacher, not the salaries, but just the number of staff as well is the most important or the biggest part of the budget. And that's what we budgeted last year for teacher salaries with about a 6% increase.
But your referendums recently have been for building new schools, though, correct? Or no?
The majority of them,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think a lot of people will look at that and go, well, you know, new parents with young kids go, oh, we have to have that school. And I think that's a good thing. Now, this thing here, I've talked to more people already that are young that are looking at what the hell is going on? You know, it used to be a referendum was for a year or 2 years, and now this could be forever.
It is.
I can't believe that's legal. I just can't believe it's legal. But obviously you guys have checked this out and apparently it is,
Yeah,
I
so-
guess, huh?
You know, you mentioned like there's like 421 school districts right now. Since revenue limits have gone in place in 93, over 300 have gone to operating referendum. And I think the last I saw that 77 have done recurring. So it's becoming more common.
But that just means that there's more and more school districts that aren't being run correctly. And I understand, I know, you know, you got all the awards and everything else, and I see that, but honest to goodness sakes, I mean, how can you come here and ask us for support for a referendum forever? I mean, how can you ask that of this
Well, I'm
board?
not asking, I'm here just to prevent
No,
that
we can't do
information.
it. We can't do it here.
You know, but, well, I won't say.
Does your crystal ball tell you when or if you're going to need the next new school?
Yeah, we should, I mean, it should be many years down the road. So right now with the capacity that we have, you know, we have a room for like 3 sections per grade, you know, in the elementary. The other thing that we have right now is, you know, we have a fairly large number of open enrollment students. And so as our resident numbers continue to increase, then we'll just decrease the number of open enrollment. And so that will take even longer. So based on the current enrollment projections, and again, I don't hold me to this, but the best guess would be for, you know, in K through 8, that should be a good 20 years.
You still make money on open enrollment kids? You
Yeah,
actually do?
As long as you have the space, you know, right, you're not adding the debt service and that sort of thing. So the actual revenue we get per student actually is more than it costs.
But the answer was last time we were talking about a school. I don't, when you were here and I brought up the question, you know, well, here we're going to build a school for 300 kids. And you got, how many do we have right now of
Yeah.
open enrollment?
So for the district, we have a total of about 3,700 kids in the
And it was
district,
about,
and about 500 of those are open enrollment.
it was, yeah, so 500. So,
That's 20%.
but the point is they don't all go to the same schools.
Right.
So you have to build the school because they're spread out over the whole works.
Yeah. Well, the highest percentage is at the high school.
Yeah.
Right now, and then right now we stopped taking open enrollment in high school because we're getting fuller, and we'll continue to scale that.
But
back.
if somebody already has kids going to Monona Grove schools, they can still keep their kids in Monona Grove. Is that not correct?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't.
So
have-
you
yes,
can have more kids. I mean, you didn't stop it really.
Yeah.
Because if somebody already had one kid in the school system, they can put their other kids in.
Right now, that's the policy. It's not required by law. So
Well,
that
but
could be
you're-
scaled
you're
back if we run out of space.
You're not gonna take a family and say, okay, you're gonna have to put your kids in Madison schools and one kid
I
can
agree.
come
I
to Monona.
wouldn't, to me, that's not the right thing to do.
Yeah, no. So I mean, it's gonna be that way.
Question out of curiosity, you said that you have 500 open enrollment students. How many of them are coming from districts that have a lower per pupil cost?
But the majority of them come from Madison School District, and I'm pretty certain their per pupil cost is higher than ours.
So do they pay the Madison cost or
No.
do they pay the Monona Grove cost?
Neither. It's a state, everyone in the whole state gets the exact same amount per pupil. I think it's a little bit over 8,000. Is it
8,200.
8,200?
But Christie, that was, at the time we built this new school across from my house,
Mhm.
there was 327 kids open enrollment.
Oh, wow.
I mean, so think about this now. Now we got 500. How did that work out?
Wow. Okay. Thank you. I wasn't sure.
I think what we should do is get the student loan program for college and use it in high schools now. Don't you, would that be good? I just thought I'd throw that out. I don't know how this one's gonna go. I'm always wrong. Every time I vote no on something with the school, it's always 70% vote yes. So I think you would probably look at that also, don't you?
Well, thank you.
Okay,
I'm
thank
the
you.
Yeah.
only one from the Stoughton School District, so I don't.
Yeah, there you go.
In this fight,
Yeah.
but hopefully everybody got their questions answered.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. And please don't hesitate. If you do have specific questions, with numbers and so on, reach out to Mark and I will make sure we let.
Listen, we got a good school system. We know that. But comes a time when money isn't the answer to everything.
State needs to fund what they have.
Exactly. And that was the old 3 legs to the stool
Yeah.
program that Christie and I both
They need
grew
to
up in.
fund public school.
I
Yes.
know that.
Yes.
Exactly.
Strongly
Yes.
need to fund public schools.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
Ooh, that wasn't so bad, was it?
Oh, I love coming here.
As his cohort size.
Ooh, I'm glad I didn't have to get up there. There you go.
Moving on to the Plan Commission recommendation, David Cummings applicant, Cummings and Turk Farms LLC, the landowner, application for a conditional use permit to allow outdoor storage on parcel at 3436 North Star Road. And I believe you had, yes, we had the minutes from the Plan Commission.
You don't have a referendum, do you?
No.
I know.
Just wanted to make sure.
Before we start something here.
What are you planning to store? That was kind of,
So it's for the trailers, I got the comics boxes and then material. So it'd be like pipe and then in-ground handholds, big junction boxes that are on pallets.
It's electrical construction type
thank
stuff.
you.
Yeah. The comics boxes, they keep wire and stuff in because they're harder to break into.
It's expensive.
His pink area there, you can barely see that from the road. You really can.
Well, I drove by and I was trying to picture it in relation to that building. Thank you.
And did you see the minutes, the conditions they put on?
You got my email with those, I hope. I sent those like.
Yeah, I might have read it and I forget a lot of stuff.
Just making sure that I have the right email though.
Yeah, I read this one. So
You don't have any problems with it?
we're doing the berm and everything.
Yeah.
The 7-foot high part of it might be an issue. Trees are not an issue.
The mowing,
I was planning on probably planting like prairie grass, the blue stem stuff that you see. So it'd be kind of a natural look to it. But if that's not, I can mow it.
The thing is, we would like to keep down the box elder trees.
Yeah, there won't be none of them. I don't know why Wallheim left the one there.
Those
On the north
nasty
end.
Junk trees that
Junk.
Yeah.
come in
Yeah, they
on
won't.
fence rows
Yeah.
and that sort of thing that make your
It's-
berm planting.
As much of it I can leave alfalfa, I will. Okay, and then brown bale that.
Yeah. 6 months to get your berm and your plantings in, hours of operation. All that's okay.
The only thing I might have is just the size of it, 50 by 100, not knowing how it might end up being like, if I go 75 by 80 or something, depending on, once I get done doing my bio basins and everything for the stormwater management.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if that was gonna be.
What's the size of the building? Or is that what
No,
you're
it's
talking
just the area, just
That's what I was wondering too.
so I can hide everything behind
Oh.
that end of the building.
As long as your square footage doesn't increase.
Okay. It'll all be on that end, so.
Yeah.
Behind the berm.
Mhm.
Behind the building and the berm will be in front of the building.
Yeah.
You got a berm on the north end. I don't know what that was. I thought we were putting a berm on the south end. That was the only,
Yeah, it looked like it on that picture, the south end.
Yeah, it doesn't say here,
I thought we were putting that
north or south.
through here.
Can you see what he said?
I think we might have had north in the minutes from when the rezone was approved. It doesn't say now, in these minutes, it just says around.
Yeah,
So I guess you maybe should clarify where you want.
Because I thought you guys were wondering, because when you come down the road this way and looking
Yeah.
at it, it's when you're gonna see it, not when you're driving away. Or is it because of what Swallheim's doing?
I thought that was part of it at the original meeting about the rezone.
mm-hmm.
I'll be able to plant trees on that end. I won't be able to put a berm though,
South or north?
due to the stormwater.
Well, I wasn't at the first one, at the
Oh,
first, so rezone. So, I mean, obviously, yes, I did the motion for this one here. But we definitely need the berm down south here.
Here's where I was thinking we were putting it.
Right.
Because the north end's gonna slope down away.
The what?
The north end's gonna slope downhill,
Well, yeah, that's what I don't know
To the
about.
north.
but down. You're never gonna build a berm big enough to hide anything.
I don't know how I'll be able to do that with the stormwater management because of the water retention and this, all the water's supposed to flow that way. I don't know if the county will let that fly.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Here's where I thought we were doing it, coming up right here. Just to block this view right here of this stuff from when you come off of 12 and 18 onto,
Berm on the south.
Sure.
South side.
Yeah, we'll specify the south.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what do you want to do about the north end?
I could get away with probably putting trees along this edge right here, but I don't think I can do anything here because this is the way the water's supposed to go. And it's supposed to
Flow open.
up and down to the bio basin. Now, if you got rid of that bio basin, I'd be able to plant all kinds of stuff.
I can't do anything about that. Have no control over that.
My honest opinion, that's a waste of 4 acres.
Yeah.
Put alfalfa around it.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with adding
south side.
on the south side, just to be clear.
Yep.
And then plant some trees on the north where you can.
Yep. Which would probably be right up to where that box where they show the existing Conex box is, probably from there back to the west.
Okay. And hopefully it's something bigger than this big around.
Oh, 6 to 10 foot spruces. I got lots of them.
Okay. And then as far as Kim, and then we'll make just reference that instead of the berm on the north, we will require the applicant to plant trees on the north where he can in and around his biobasin.
Yeah, I don't think they allow them in by the biobasin,
No, I just know.
or to hinder flow.
I should say up to the biobasin. I shouldn't say in the biobasin, but
Yeah, it'd be probably up to the main entrance of the parking lot, I guess. But not, I'm not gonna do the whole road coming in. I'll just do like, no,
agreed.
Is there a motion? I move approval of plan commission recommendations,
Plus,
Adding the.
plus adding in the,
Berms on the south side.
the notation, the berms for the south side and north side, trees only where possible.
Second.
Motion by Duplace, second by Fonger to accept the plan commission's recommendation with adding that the berm is on the south side and trees on the north where possibly to be planted. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
I,
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. And you're on the 28th
with the county, yep.
for the county.
Good
Okay.
luck. Good luck.
Next item, discuss, consider agreement with Kennedy Hills Homeowners Association Incorporated for stormwater facility mowing. You got a copy of that. I'm surprised no one's here from there.
Yeah.
I got an email since I left earlier, just saying to let them know if the board had any recommendations.
I was really kind of surprised to see that they incorporated.
I think that, isn't that how it always is?
I think so.
I
I think it is now. It doesn't cost near as much as it used to. We did our baseball team. It wasn't that bad.
Everybody's okay with being for 3 years.
Yeah.
Start at
Yeah.
145
Yeah.
No problem.
and increasing,
by what the CPI is.
right. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Page 2, do we want to the town clerk / treasurer, since Kim is both, or you're okay with just
I
town
don't
clerk?
know, you have to be that specific. I answer to both now.
Wow. It should probably say / treasurer. Because we combined the office. Is there a motion?
move approval with the Christie's change as presented.
Second,
Motion by Anders, second by Williams to approve the agreement as presented with the change from town clerk to town clerk / treasurer. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item, discuss and consider location for new speed boards.
Here's one of them.
That bigger than the other one?
Yeah, way bigger.
Wait, yeah.
The other one's only 12 inches. These are, they say 18, but it measures 20 by 30.
Yeah, it looks huge.
So we recommend putting those on the higher speed roads and then we'll use a smaller one, like if we need to do like subdivision stuff.
On Damascus,
Yeah,
before we put up the
speed bumps.
speed bumps.
And they're gonna find out that they don't really drive that fast through there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that'd be something, but
These are data collecting also?
These actually, these are the ones they can actually connect to and sit down the road from.
Oh, really?
Wow.
So when you drive past it and they see it flash the speed, it tells the officer.
Wow, nice.
They don't need to be in eyesight of it. They can actually, it'll come up on a computer, then they can kind of watch. And we think, I don't know, the radar eye in there looks like a camera lens, so it's different than the other ones. So I don't know if this one takes picture too or not. It might.
Suggestions as to where you would like these put?
I wish the police officers were.
Well, I talked to them and we already had said we're gonna put one on Vilas Hope, right?
Yeah.
So we'll probably put one of these big ones out there.
Yeah.
And we can do a northbound, southbound kind of thing. And give it time. And then they brought up Gaston, Baxter, and Damascus.
All
Baxter
I would do
Yeah.
Vilas Hope, Baxter for the big ones and move the small one to Damascus.
Yeah, I would think that.
To see what so we can see what those speeds are prior to putting in the speed bumps. If
Yeah.
maybe that would do away with us having to do that,
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be
because
great.
those are such a pain.
They are.
We get nothing but, complaints one way or the other.
Is
That's
Baxter worse,
extra work
The
for
average speed is below 30 miles an
Dan.
hour. Why put this
So it is.
on?
Baxter worse than
On Damascus.
Gaston?
oh, God.
For the most part it is.
Because it-
I'll see,
They pull a lot over north of Doubledays,
Yeah,
from the bridge to Doubledays.
okay.
Once people get into the houses, they tend to slow down. But it's that first initial when they come off the bridge to, at least that's what Christina was telling me. It gets a lot of 55 through there.
I mean, we can always move them again.
Yeah, they can be moved all over.
Well, I mean, that sounds like a good deal for us.
at some point in time, maybe this summer sometime, I'd like to see what the speed is like on Vilas out near my house, coming between the golf course and.
45.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
60?
We drive
We
45
don't
all
hardly
the
get,
time out there.
do we get any complaints from Baxter Road about speed these days?
That's what I was thinking, that's why
I don't know, why would you?
I know that in the at court, Baxter or Gaston seems to be a contentious one for
Yeah.
people that do get picked up because it
You go
changes
from
and stuff.
35 to 45.
And
I think you can put the little one on Baxter.
I think I've heard of more complaints on Gaston than Baxter, but
Yeah.
we used to have
Used to
people
be.
that walked on Baxter, and I'm not as aware of that
No.
anymore.
I don't think you get a lot of walkers though on Gaston, do you?
No.
Not
but-
anymore.
But
Yeah.
you do get, we get more speed complaints out there.
Yeah, Christina just said Baxter is one of their higher written ticket roads.
I
It
think
is.
because they can hide good back there.
North of Doubledays.
North of Doubledays.
But that's not.
That seems
like-
almost like a speed trap to ticket people there.
It's
Because
not
it's
a-
55 in some
Well, I
prairies.
understand that, but
35
just
on our
coming over
side.
the top, like you said, they get up to the houses and they slow down,
It's not as,
High as Gaston.
it's not as much of a risky area for people that live there to be exposed to speeders or whatever, I don't think.
Yeah, there's only,
Gaston is.
there's only 8 houses from eight driveways from Doubledays to the bridge.
Yeah,
I think Vilas Hope and Gaston, you should put the two big ones, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, there's over 3,000 cars a day in
Yeah.
Gaston, so.
I would make that motion, that we put the two big ones on Gaston and Vilas Hope and the small one on Baxter.
Damascus, right? Is that what?
Damascus first before they put
No,
the signs up.
Yeah, let's
That-
do.
Just
Do
this-
you actually think there's a problem on Damascus?
No,
We should approve it.
Oh, God, we'll never prove anything to them.
Yes, we will.
No,
We'll have,
not true.
we'll have numbers.
Theirs is about having the amount of cars that go through.
That's bad anymore. I mean,
Well, why would it be? They got everything they wanted, pretty much.
That counts cars too, though, so
Yeah.
It does.
That'd be great. I would opt for Damascus.
That's fine. Whatever.
We can move the big ones to Baxter later,
Good.
I
Sounds
mean, they don't need to be there all summer. You can move them around.
I'll second that motion with that.
Motion by Foger, second by Williams, to put the big ones on Vilas Hope and Gaston, and the small one on Manassas.
Yeah, that's great.
Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item, discuss and consider approval of budget resolution 2022-01, amending the 2022 town budget.
This just basically it cleans up a lot of the things that decisions that you made through the years to use ARPA funds, to use the ATC funds. It also adjusts for the loans that we didn't take out because the fire truck wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Some FEMA money that came in to pay for some fire department stuff. I don't know if you looked through to see if there was anything else that you felt needed adjustment. We don't really have to do a budget adjustment at all, so I just tried to pick out the kind of highlights of what made the year what it was, I guess.
For 22,
Mhm.
For 22.
The police station maintenance jumped out at me.
So we.
That was the parking lot.
Parking lot.
And we paid for it, and then we got paid back.
Thank you.
So
That's what the other miscellaneous charges was at the bottom. That's what she had put the bill from Wolf, was it, that paid that?
yeah,
Rock Road, yes.
She put that into that other miscellaneous charges, and then that was extra revenue that helped pay for the parking lot.
yeah.
Thank you. I do remember that now.
Move to approve the budget resolution 2022-01.
Motion by Duplay. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Williams to approve budget resolution 2022-01 as presented. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Discuss and consider approval of emergency government standard operation plan.
Just pointed out that some of the pages that were supposed to print landscape all printed portraits, so it cut off the last columns of some of those directories. So
Phone numbers.
we'll pre-print that. Those should have all printed in the other direction.
Yeah.
this has been going on for like 12 years.
A lot.
And the one that the village put together, which we did have copies of, was just absolutely terribly done. It's all a bunch of, just making the thing look good. So we put the effort in to make it a working document that can be changed easily. And you can see even on the last page there how you can, Kim or whoever can go in and change documents from the county and so on and so forth. And
Well, and so for example, these equipment lists,
yeah,
this is all a Google document, and so I shared the Public Works one with Dan, so he can go in and update that, and it comes right into this document. Next time we print it, or if you go online to use the online version, it's right there. Same thing with the fire department equipment. Nick has access to that, so you can just go in and update that. Obviously, in the office, we can update the office or the contacts as we learn new things. And so it's a live document on Google Drive. So I mean, printing it is really just what it was at that point in time, but.
so we could actually make a bunch of changes during the year and then put out working copies again at the end of the year.
Or just use the live version at
Yeah.
any time, and then all the committee members have access to
Yeah.
it. And,
Because there are updates that need to be done
yeah,
Yes.
I need
That's
to.
correct.
that I caught in here.
I need to remind the equipment operator people to take a look at it, that you should probably take a look at it. and I
Or should
know
be updated.
Nick needs to take a look at it again,
But staff needs to be
Oh,
updated
yeah.
too. I mean, it's still things Deborah Abel works
yeah,
here.
yeah, I haven't
And
updated
and I'm
that.
sorry, Sue, you're not listed.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
But it's so easy to do now that it's not a problem. So,
It's easy to go in and correct it now, and that's the main thing.
Because there are other things that
Sue is listed here.
she's there, but
Yeah,
not
not at the other.
Not at the end. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, I did.
Yeah.
Because your address is in there. I thought, yes, yes. So it's not consistent is what it is. So I circled some things if you want my copies.
no, go ahead.
But yeah, that's good news that it's going to be a live document you can update and have it have some meaning. That's great.
And I think we went through with the county, that's all updated information there for another 10 years or so.
Great.
Mhm.
And they've gone through this pretty much.
I would move approval of Mr. Bonger's.
No, this is everybody together, you know,
Well,
it was good.
Second.
Motion by Anders, second by Williams to approve Town of Cottage Grove Emergency Response Standard Operating Guidelines as presented. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Hi.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Discuss and consider approval paying for drinking water service for the police station. And this was the first I've heard of it.
What, yeah, what
So
are,
apparently the county has been buying bottled water for them. I put that on your desk, the contract that they have. And the county isn't gonna pay for it anymore, so Jen asked if the town would be willing to take over.
oh, for-
I don't know if we can just take this contract over. I'm sure that we'll probably have to, start a new contract of ours somehow, and maybe the price might not be exactly the same, or there might be other places that would be more appropriate. I don't know anything about buying bottled water, so.
Look, it says 5-gallon RG drink. What is that supposed to mean?
5-gallon returnable jugs.
So they have returnable jugs
So
there?
they have, I think they have one of those upside down
Coolers.
jug, yeah.
Bubblers.
Why can't we just put a
Tell you, man.
water filter on the system down there?
I think it's nitrates that they're worried
Oh
about.
my God.
And nitrates aren't a problem for.
I think we
adults.
should have one in here so I don't have to bring a bottle of water in here. Jesus, that's
But
ridiculous.
is that because of the co-op? The water is in that?
Well, I mean, the whole Dane County is high in nitrates.
Yeah, I mean, I got water, and I got nitrates in my water,
I do too.
so I don't know, you live in Cottage Grove that you don't.
Well, yeah, so
Well,
I mean, it's
we-
not city water, so I
Yeah.
guess that's, there's that worry.
But right now they have the big jugs in a machine that they put a cup under and
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's what it is. That's what this would be,
Okay.
50, or a 5-gallon jug.
I suggested we take a sample and send it and have it tested.
yeah, good
I
point.
think that's a good idea.
See what it
See if
is
there's something wrong with it.
and if it needs to be filter added or what. We can go from there.
Or we could buy 10 cases of water and put down there to last for 2 years.
I don't know.
This is what's next.
It's,
Disposable
that
bottles.
invoice, if I'm reading it correct, that's per month,
Yeah,
Mhm.
$82 a month.
What if we bought a
How is
Brita?
that possible? 82 bucks for water?
Yeah,
And then you just fill that and then put it in the fridge.
I don't think that'll take
Otherwise,
nitrates
that
out
the
though.
owner of the
Oh.
property.
Are they really worried about
provide
that though?
like Houston's?
Who's worried about
Well,
it?
if it's the water, if there's a water problem there,
Yeah.
you think?
That's why Chris's idea about having the water tested.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, yeah,
Come up here to see
Yeah, I
if
Maybe
think
there's
get
a
anything.
good first step is have it tested.
have the water
I
test.
would agree.
I move we table this and we go ahead and pay for a sample of the water to find out if there's anything wrong with it.
has to do with that
Yeah,
safe water.
Yeah.
Motion by Clay, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Fonger to table the item and to send a sample in for testing.
State lab of hygiene.
Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Consideration of attendees for Capitol Day on March 30th.
Not I.
Not I.
Not I.
I'm interested.
Okay. We'll send Supervisor Williams. And then we have Board of Review training.
Yeah, gonna do a motion for that.
I'll make the motion to send Supervisor Williams to Capitol Day. Is there a second? Second by Duplay. Discussion on the motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Consideration of attendees for Board of Review training.
Who's all due?
We have to have one member every year.
How many do we have that are, is that every 2 years though?
No, every year, one member has to go.
Nobody went last year, or did,
Didn't we do that
virtual,
new?
right?
I thought we did
I
virtual.
think
Yeah.
we did virtual.
Yeah.
Here, yeah.
All of us, but,
We all were here, right?
right.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
now
he said-
the law is that somebody has to go every year.
And they're not doing virtual anymore.
Oh, my God.
Well, they are,
They are.
Yeah.
but they're not recording it.
So closest one to us is Barneveld.
Barneveld.
And then there's the virtual one on
May 1st.
May 1st.
Which would be our meeting day.
Yeah, I was wondering
Yeah.
about that.
Does it take all day?
It's at
6:30 at
6:30 at night.
6:30 at night.
Oh. Just saying.
So if that's the only thing we want to have on the agenda.
Get it done in a half.
Ladies always
hour,
make good
anything.
food in Barneville. Been a couple trainings there.
Well, maybe you got something there.
I don't know how long it will last. They
Well,
didn't
it took a
say.
couple hours by the time you listen to their, their role-playing sessions and stuff like that.
Mhm.
For that particular meeting, I'm just gonna throw this out there. Let's have the first be our board of review training. We have our town board meeting on Tuesday, the 2nd.
Yeah, we could do that.
I don't care.
Is it
That would
bug
work.
you at all?
Oh,
That's fine with me.
Fine with me.
Fine with me. Works.
And then
Good idea.
you would have everyone attend the May 1st Board of Review.
Sure,
Mhm.
Was that your motion?
it was.
Second.
Motion by Anders, second by Fonger to move the May 1st board meeting to Tuesday, the 2nd, and have everyone attend the Board of Review at 6:30 at the town hall.
Mhm. That's the one they normally do, and it's, oh, you've had a really good class to get out an hour early.
Yeah.
There was a motion and a second. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. I assume we have to register it
yeah.
somewhere along that line. So clerk will take care of that for us. And then do you want, next item is to set date for annual road and park inspections.
We always usually do it towards the end of April. I've got 3 dates that I'm available, the 17th, 21st, and 24th. That works for any of you guys.
Which days?
17th, 21st, or 24th.
You're
The
available
17th.
anytime we want you to be available. You're there.
True, but the car I use, let's just put it that way.
Oh, I see.
My wife's car.
I can do
Yeah.
the 17th, but I can't do either the 21st or the 24th.
I can do the 17th.
That's St. Patty's Day.
It is.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's
Not of April. That's March, yeah. not of April.
You're saying
17th of April.
April.
It's a Monday, it's our
Yeah, I was
town
thinking
board
March.
meeting.
Town
Yeah,
board
so-
meeting that night.
Yeah, it is Monday.
So the 17th is the only date that works for you?
It's the only one that works for me.
Otherwise,
Or the 21st.
otherwise I can try to get a car another day in there.
well, how many people do we normally have?
Well, usually just about all of us.
It's usually been all of us.
6?
6?
My wife's car seats 7.
I get 6 of mine, you know, it's not like a big deal. 6 or 7.
I have only 5 seats for mine.
What time?
10 o'clock?
10 o'clock again.
I'm sorry?
10 like normal.
On the 17th.
Did somebody make that a motion?
So moved.
Motion
Second,
by DePlay, second by Williams for road inspection to be April 17th at 10 a.m. and park inspection. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
aye.
Pose same sign, motion carried. Public Works, road right-of-way permits.
We have one. We're waiting on the contractor, but Kim got that information today. And their insurance, so Charter Communications will be putting new coax under Vilas Road up here by, was up by Steve here. 4261 Vilas Road. The customer's getting new coax. They got a bore new line under the road there, so nothing major. Then they're gonna put a new pet in. Other than that, we put weight limits on today.
You did.
Yeah.
Yep, so roads
Which one was
posted
it?
again. I stopped a few people and had a chit chat today, but nothing too serious.
What about the guy down here, Salt Company?
He hasn't moved a truck, so he didn't today anyway. So he's trapped now. He learned the hard way last year, so I doubt he'll move much unless he goes out at night,
Yeah.
which he might. But
Well, you still got them regardless.
he's gotta go out at some point.
Yeah.
But our police officers know about him, and Troy's the one that got him last year, so
Yeah.
he actually got him filling up with fuel. And then he followed him all the way down. He pulled him over right by where Nora and Upoff meet.
Mm,
So he was empty though, luckily, but he still was overweight. And yeah, I talked to Rion and a couple other guys that said they were gonna comply this year, so.
Did you see the email that went out about the road maintenance at Verona?
Yeah, we have a parks meeting that night.
What was that about?
It's just, it's Towns Association, right, putting it on?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Having someone from, I forget what engineering firm it was. Yeah, that was coming to talk about road maintenance.
Oh, yeah.
Kim forwarded it to me. I never got it. She forwarded it to me. Yeah, Dane County Towns. Regional Public Works Manager for MSA. He's gonna be presenting it.
Yeah.
It's just practices and some benefits of maintenance to protect assets as in roads. Question and answers and things like upcoming grants and stuff that you can look for. I mean, Nick's been doing a pretty good job for us. He lets me know. We don't see it anyway. And we're gonna try to apply for those same ones again and stuff, so.
Those culverts on the bridge.
Yeah, we're gonna do those and then like up off rebuild and stuff too, so just reapply for it. No,
Yeah.
cross our fingers. That's all we can do. Other than that, I didn't have anything.
Okay, clerk's office.
Election went pretty good, 956 voters, I think, so like 30%.
Wow.
Good for.
One question, yeah.
Went real smooth, so.
Because you have it well organized. You do.
I mean,
It's-
You know, it was the first time back in this room and so, I mean, we're gonna be a lot busier in April. Have to try to rejigger things a little bit different for that kind of throughput, but I think it'll be okay. You know, those new booths work good. They allow voters in a smaller area, you know, so I think that works good and the Badger books are amazing, so.
And apparently the governor has got money in for Badger books. And the Republicans are apparently gonna go along with it, so
For who to get Badger books.
for towns,
Anybody that
villages.
doesn't have it.
Get more out there.
Well, but who knows, if you need, maybe we need another one,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah, we'll have to think about that.
So it's good to,
Yeah.
it's something that's worthwhile, obviously.
Yeah,
They're
true.
great. They're awesome. They're revolutionary.
What was it, Town of Middleton just got them? and they
Yeah.
Liked them really well.
Yeah.
Last election.
Yeah, there's, I don't know if you've seen the Center for Voter Assistance had a major mess up. I had
No, what
I
was that?
had someone bring in, they mail out absentee
I
application
did see that,
forms.
yeah.
And I had a resident bring in 3 of them, 2 addressed to her daughter and 1 addressed to her husband. 2 of the 3 of them were pre-filled for completely different voters inside the envelope. They weren't even, I mean, they were Town and Cottage Grove voters, but not even close to where she lives. And so I've emailed them before because I've seen things like this. Not so much of that. The other thing I've seen is where they pre-address them to the wrong clerk. And so I emailed them again and said, you know, this is just not helping. I know you mean to help, but you're not. And you know, I've told them before, if you want to help, just send out a postcard that says, go to my vote if you want an absentee ballot. But they insist on these forms and it's all, the clerks are just infuriated because today I had 2 calls that more people got them and, you know, they think they come from us.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I try to explain to them, nope, it's not us sending them. They're trying to be helpful, but it doesn't help. So if you see something like that, it wasn't me.
Sure, shift the blame.
Yeah.
Okay, board reports and communications. Let's see, the McFarland Plan Commission is having a meeting on March 21st at their community room on amending the village comprehensive plan to adopt and incorporated the 2023 East Side Plan as a component of their comp plan.
Mhm.
The radios are now in for EMS, at least. I would assume they're there for fire too, because they were ordered at the same time. So they're working on getting those programmed and installed. And like you heard, the new ambulance is shut down because of the recall.
Oh, that's what I didn't miss that part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too.
After we waited so long to get it. Finally
You
got
can't
it
even
and
keep
got
it
it
inside
stocked.
years.
with all the
Oh,
stuff. And then they had to take that out, so in case it does catch fire, that we don't lose all the
Building.
you know, the building or the equipment that's inside,
Yeah.
expensive equipment, drugs, you know,
wow.
everything, so crazy.
And there is no fix at this point.
No.
No.
So should we be suing them? I
No
would
chance
say.
of that.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Probably know the attorney that's going to handle it.
No, the,
Susan Allen went to Chrysler.
Did she really? Ooh.
See, you don't, I thought you worked for Chrysler.
who, me?
You. Oh, I'm confused.
Oh. I support them very well.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, this afternoon I had a call from Brett Score and I told him I didn't, Brett Score.
Oh, okay.
I told him I didn't think we would have a problem. He's gotten approval on the land south of the landfill, including part of our 5 acres that we own, to tile that. And he wondered if we would have a problem with tile. I said, I didn't think we would have a problem with tile
Not gonna
going
interfere
in
with
it.
the wells that are there.
There's one well there and they water, so they'll go
Yeah.
around that. Unless somebody here thinks that's a problem, I said it's probably okay. They're gonna start measuring on Wednesday. So I assume they'll do it in the spring before they plant.
You won't be able to get in there right now, but yeah, as soon as it firms up, they'll be in there.
So where are they gonna dump the water into that creek down there then?
Yeah,
You're gonna take them like all the other ones.
all the way down to Little Door Creek.
Yeah, dump it in a trough.
Yeah.
So they've already
So the
tiled
tiles,
the east side of N.
right, so the tiles will actually run north and south then.
Yeah,
They might have a couple laterals connecting
Yeah,
them, but
but for the most part, it's north and south, okay.
he said he wanted to catch the water from Vinnie's subdivision. Over to the creek.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
too bad there's nothing that ever runs out of there.
I know. Let him,
Our ponds are built right.
yeah.
There's probably
I've
more
got
runoff
lots.
coming out of like, that little subdivision,
Maxwell?
huh?
Maxwell?
Yeah. Because there's no retention ponds in there and everything else like that.
There's like no
No.
water that runs through there.
No, I'm just saying, the potential would be that there would be more water coming off of those roads than Vinnie's.
True.
And that ditch that it would hit is so high, it never go over that. Because the bank is so steep
And it takes it all down to that
down to the creek.
box culvert, yep.
So, anyway,
Tell them to have at it.
that's what I said, but I wanted to ask to make sure that no one else had a problem with it. Mark did not get his stuff done for us to have the sewer on tonight, so we're looking at the 20th. Unless you want to have a special meeting with him, I've been talking to MMSD and still in conversation with them about what they need and their timelines. But, and I know someone met with the unnamed company and wants to know soon if we're going to or not, but I don't know what your preference
I don't
is.
think we can get to it set fast enough for them. Do you?
No, they just want to know if we were going to move forward or not.
But the sewer running from the golf course, you mean, or what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Huh.
So do you want to leave it on the 20th or do you want to hear from MMSD?
Is this about money or what's it about?
Oh, their process takes about 4 to 6 months to get through them. They have to have an annexation of the area and a public hearing.
A lot of hoops.
Yeah, I don't know.
Get your tennies on,
I mean, we might as well wait at this
to jump
point.
through.
And
Are they
then,
willing to wait for us,
who?
this unnamed?
Oh, well, they keep pushing, but I said, he didn't get it done. I can't do it on the 6th.
No,
So my next one is the 20th.
I'm willing to wait till the 20th. Unless
I
you
don't
think
see
you
a
need
problem
to have
with waiting.
something sooner.
Over one company?
Yeah.
So are
I
you
don't think
gonna,
it's worth it.
you're gonna want MMSD to come on the 20th too, or just hear from Mark first?
Well, I think we'll want Mark and Bill there and probably Nick.
Yeah.
I'll email MMSD again, and I'll ask them if they would attend and explain their process
At the
to
same,
us
I think
on
that's
the
okay.
20th.
yeah.
Also then,
I don't think this is any kind of decision time about
No.
anything, but
but the
You need to
20th
know
we'll
the
have to
process, yeah.
do something. Move ahead or move not, or not. And then I think if we move ahead, then we should probably make the plan commission come up with some minimum requirements for buildings out there.
You mean to tell me they can't just send a representative just to answer questions?
Who?
MSMD or whatever.
MMSD?
Yeah. Why would we have to make a decision then?
No. I think the one company that wants to know if we're going to move
The
ahead
company, how?
Yeah.
one way
MMSD
or
concerns.
another wants to know. It's not MMSD. I'm just saying they could come and give us what their process is, knowing how long that's going to take, how long it's going to take to get through CARPC and the DNR, and probably what Mark, I'm assuming we would have Mark run that through CARPC and DNR to get approval. But then do we want, if we move ahead at that 20th, then should we look at having Plan Commission come up with some minimum requirements for buildings? Brick and mortar versus pole buildings or whatever.
I don't know, it's,
Yes, I mean,
yeah,
To
I mean,
to maximize
it's like-
your,
It's up to them, and, you guys serve on that committee. How much time do you need to,
no, the plan commission could go ahead and had a meeting or two, come up with a set of basic standards.
but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and it doesn't, there's no immediate rush or whatever, but I think Chris was just asking, is this something the plan commission should be looking at?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And I would say yes.
Yeah.
I would agree with you, yes. I'd certainly love to see a higher quality building.
and then I would assume we would want some sort of a contract with Mark for the special project of CARPC and DNR
Mhm,
getting
That
our
approval,
Approvals.
USA
yeah.
approved. Is there anything else?
Well, and then are you gonna have to make a TID too?
We can't do the TID
No,
until
the
the
sewer
sewer
is-
gets there.
Is already in place, like installed or just, okay.
Yeah, we're talking TIDs and we were just talking about information. Now we're talking about TIDs and money and Jesus, it never ends.
Never gets easier.
Well, it could be worse. It could be like a school district where we just keep adding on every year.
We will be doing that.
In your sewer district.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's all that I
Did you
have
want
for
me to-
board
We wanted to
reports.
pass out this fire protection agreement.
Yes, at the fire district committee meeting, we talked about the agreement and he said that they were fine with it. So here's a copy to look at. I was planning on having it on the April 3rd agenda because the fire committee needs to move it to us officially, to the two boards.
I know, but I think, shouldn't we be talking about this in case we come up with something before our next fire meeting?
Well, that's why I'm giving it to you now, so you
So
can,
we got
so
until
you
the
can,
20th to,
you can tell me if there's things that you aren't happy with.
When, isn't, I'm trying to think, when is the fire meeting?
It's a Thursday, the 23rd. Yeah,
So, yeah.
got moved because of spring break for the village people
What?
When is spring break?
the following week.
Ah, okay.
They have a spring break, the village does?
Well, school does.
so all the parents are
And the
rushing.
parents are not available for meetings that
Oh my
night, because we
God,
would have met on the 27th.
you gotta be kidding me.
No, I'm not.
So
And they were all talking about it too.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so.
So you're gonna want to put it on the 320 agenda for you guys and then. Okay.
Just looking for their comments.
Okay.
Anything else at the fire?
Yes, big thing. They're talking these preliminary discussions on offering basically a pension plan for the firefighters.
State,
Huh?
No.
Yeah,
state,
state plan.
Estate plan?
yeah.
For every dollar we put in, they put in two.
And also, it'll be coming up, I don't know who
So
made
it'd
the
be a little over
suggestion.
$5,000.
Yeah,
Dave
and,
Peterson, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I brought it up.
and then I suggested that EMS also consider it for the volunteers that are remaining, you know. So hopefully it'll get added to your agenda at your next EMS commission meeting. And but that was pretty much it.
Nothing else really.
Okay.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Duplace, second by Williams, non-debatable. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.